Minasan konnichiwa, Real Corazon back for a new video, and this week will be on Mob Psycho 100. Before we get into the actual video, I want to say that from now on my videos will no longer be 14 to 15 minutes. They'll be more like between 6 to 10 minutes, and instead of just doing half non-spoiler and half spoiler, I will only be doing a non-spoiler section. And in those non-spoiler sections, I will still do the same ratings as I was before. You know, I'll base it off of main characters, side characters, villains, story, and animation, and give it a rating out of 100. And from that, maybe it can get many more people to watch the anime, or maybe not to watch the anime based on my description of it. So now back into Mob Psycho. The overall synopsis is about a teenage high school boy who has Esper powers, meaning he's able to dispel demons and send them back to wherever they came from. And this is quite a good anime, really good anime, and I believe it has a very good chance of winning Anime of the Year, but we'll get more into the actual details of the anime. So the first aspect we're going to talk about is main character. The main character of this show is Shigeo Kageyama. He's a teenage boy, and at first he seems kind of like a quiet, keep to himself, non-confident, gentle kid, and then throughout the show he really develops. And I think that's the biggest key to this anime, is the amount of character development that happens not only with Mob but with a few other characters. But with Shigeo, in comparison to many others, from where he came from, he truly blossomed. And for that to happen in the span of, I believe, 24 episodes is mind-boggling. You get animes with like 100 episodes and it doesn't have the amount of good character development that Mob Psycho 100 has. So for Mob, Shigeo Kageyama, whatever you want to call him, I'm giving him a easy 9.2 out of 10, and I think he has the potential to be one of the best main characters we've seen in many, many years. And I'm very excited to see what next season holds. 9.2! The next aspect we'll be talking about are the side characters. Side characters are very important because not only can they make an anime better, but if done properly, side characters often make the main characters look better and they propel them forward. And that's exactly what happens in Mob Psycho 100. 3 characters in particular: Reigen, Ritsu, Hanazawa. Now, Reigen is kind of like his sensei, his teacher, and he really keeps his powers in check. Reigen is kind of like a father figure to him, and he teaches him so many things about how to be kind to others. And Reigen himself is quite the comical character. I believe that most people love Reigen. And you know, my favorite character is Mob in the show, but Reigen is a really close second. Next character is Ritsu, and that is his brother. Now, his brother is someone who also develops some sort of powers, but Ritsu himself goes through a lot of character development in a span of like even 10 episodes, and you're like, wow, this show is done so well. Now, the last character I want to talk about is Hanazawa. This show is really good at turning villains into good characters. So a lot of times, like in Naruto per se, you see all these very villainous, evil people, and by the end of the show or by the end of the arc, they turn into good guys and help Naruto. And that's very similar in Mob Psycho. Mob Psycho has quite a few enemies, but with his kind heart and his hard work, he turns them into good people. So for side characters, I'm going to give it an 8.8 out of 10. It's not quite as good as the main character in my opinion, because his character development is beyond comparison. The third thing I would like to speak about is the animation. So the animation company is Bones, and they're a pretty big deal. They have My Hero Academia, Fullmetal Alchemist, Soul Eater, Noogami, Bungo Stray Dogs. I can go on and on. But the amount of effort, or I don't know if it's effort, whatever you want to call it, the amount of product put into Mob Psycho is off the charts. Mob Psycho has hands down the best animation there is out there, consistently. I know Demon Slayer has fantastic animation, and that mostly comes during the fights, but if we're talking about minute for minute, it's no comparison. Mob Psycho has easily the best animation there is today, and I'll stand by that. So for animation, we're giving it a 9.5 just because I think it's so far ahead of everyone. And we all know good animation can help any anime. So 9.5 out of 10. So this part of the video we'll be talking about the villains in the anime. Now the villains in this anime aren't overwhelming. I think that the whole idea and the whole grouping of the villains that they have pretty much goes with the generic shonen type. So for villains, I don't think it's anything too crazy. A lot of them turn good, so you start liking some of them. But for me, I didn't love the villains. I like them a lot, but it wasn't enough for me to fall in love with them, like, let's just say an anime like One Piece with Doflamingo. They definitely didn't have anything near that. So for villains in this anime, I will be giving it a 6.8 out of 10. I do think it has a lot of potential for the future, and some of the characters are really interesting, so there's only time will tell, really. That's all I can say about that for now. The last category we'll be speaking about is indeed the story. Now this goes hand in hand with main characters in my opinion for what is the most important factor for a good anime. Now the story isn't anything that's too crazy, that's too wild. I think it follows some pretty basic steps, but having said that, it's really good. I mean, every other anime nowadays seems to be about demons and spirits and fighting them. I'm not particularly sure why that genre is so popular, but it seems to be something that's prominent in anime right now. So the story is good. Have I seen it before? Kind of, yeah. So for that reason, I will be giving it a 7 out of 10. I do believe it's really good, but that's all I can give it for now. We'll see where it goes from here. Based off the ratings I gave it, I would rank the anime an 82.6%. Now that may seem kind of low, but that is quite good. Keeping in mind that I do strongly believe that this is a contender for anime of the year in 2019. I think that this anime is spectacular, and I would tell anyone to watch it. I think it's that good. Watch Mob Psycho. I can't stress that enough. Please watch Mob Psycho. One thing I will say about the anime that I didn't love is that the first 3 or 4 episodes always kind of felt like filler. They were kind of set up episodes, but it didn't feel too much like it, so they're kind of weak in my personal opinion. They're still good to watch, but when you compare it to the final outcome of the season, it's not nearly as good. I recommend getting past those episodes, still watching them because they're still really good, but just wait till the end. It's so good. Just watch Mob Psycho. Also, like, subscribe, hit that notification button. I want to know your thoughts on Mob Psycho, so comment down below. Follow me on Twitter. Hopefully that will be right there. Yeah, right there. Follow me on Twitter. I post anime content. If you guys ever want to talk to me, just DM me. I'm more than happy to talk to anyone who wants to talk to me. Peace out, guys. Real Corazon out.